Hey, as promised, this video is just a quick explainer of how we're using the reading lists in this particular course. So Law 2604, Legal Considerations of AI, Big Data and Blockchain. Now, I think you'll find the reading list really useful, and it's one of the reasons that I wanted to just bring it to your attention really early on. It's pretty easy to find. Basically just plod along, I don't know, browse along, stop it, Kath. Basically to the reading list section on your canvas. Menus might look slightly different. We're still in dev mode when I'm showing you this, and I'll try and take out the reading of the menu items that don't relate to you. So once you've done that, let's just undo that, you'll see basically we've got a list of week by week readings, plus at the beginning there is a nice section here that deals with recommended texts. So I've just opened the recommended text area. Now, I just want to be really clear, in many courses that you do, a recommended text is a text that you need and that you will use absolutely every week. That's not the case with this course. This case, the readings, they're all online, including these recommended texts, but they're basically very precise for each week. And I don't want you going out and wasting money that you could probably spend on flowers and chocolates for me, only kidding, on textbooks that you don't need or that you won't find useful in the longer term. So the first of these is a little text called Legal Issues in Information Technology. It's available in hard copy for those of you who want to seek it out in the library. It's particularly useful in the first couple of weeks, or the first week in particular. But beyond that, it's really very high level. And the reason that you might go to that is if you might find the index useful, you might find the chapter headings useful, and then delve in from there. If some of the concepts in the reading are a little bit more difficult than you expected, or hey, let's hope that you get interested and you want to go a little bit further, in which case you'll find the resources that it draws on helpful for expanding your research. The one that particularly those business students who are less familiar with the law might find useful is this one, Concise Australian Commercial Law. What I just did is I tried to find a pretty recent version of a commercial law textbook that will give you the overriding principles and legal concepts that some of you as law students might actually want refreshers to, but you will be more familiar with than those of you who come from the business programs generally. So basically it is as simple as clicking on that little view online button. The first time you do it can take a little while. It's going to open the book. I'm actually going to cheat a little bit here. I will show you how to do it. There you go, it's open, but mainly so that I can align it in the screen. I basically think the easiest thing is for you to do is for you to scroll down into the contents page with this particular one. Some of them have really good interactive content pages. This one unfortunately does not. I thought I was making it easier for you to read there, but clearly not. Let me just make that a little bit more useful. And so as you'll see as you wander through here, there's a really good section on Australian legal system generally for those of you kind of interested in when we're talking about the different kinds of courts. And this week, the first week, we'll be talking about jurisdiction. So we'll be talking about the jurisdiction of the courts in the context of what it is that court has jurisdiction to do, what kind of matters or disputes it can hear, but also who that court has jurisdiction over. So the people and the types of matters that come before those court. As we move forward, necessarily in a commercial subject, we'll be talking about contracts. You'll find that there's quite a lot of really useful information about, from a legal perspective, what a contract is, how they're formed, what features they have. We will necessarily be touching on consumer law. There will be examples that we use from time to time around privacy, but privacy itself and data protection are not really a feature of this particular course. We don't go particularly deep, but having said that, I think I will use the GDPR, the European privacy law, as an example when we're talking about jurisdiction this week. We will talk about torts. So torts is just a fancy word that shows you've studied some law, and it is effectively talking about civil wrongs, the types of wrongs or damage or incidents that gives rise to legal responsibility or a claim if one of those wrongs happens to you, but is not necessarily a crime as well. So yeah, as you can see, as you flick through here, there are a range of different types of law that will be explained at a high level with enough detail for you as business students to really do particularly well in this course. We won't be going that deep into the legal philosophy or legal structure of the different issues. Those of you who are law students who've done some of these subjects, you will clearly have an advantage here in relation to this, but this book will be a good refresher for you. And while it's an advantage in relation to the legal content, it will be a very limited, if any advantage at all, in relation to the business content. Okay, so back to the reading list. Basically, you can access all of the materials in the same way. After the recommended text, you'll see that effectively we go week by week with the various readings. Each time you will be able to see how many readings there are. That will be able to help you plan your time. It's often very difficult to tell. When you are actually reading the materials, who doesn't like checking things off a list? When you have finished something, you can mark it as done. Absolutely fantastic. These are set up so that you will go directly to the chapters that you are interested in. If there is a problem with the links, and it happens, they move around, you can mark the link as broken. If you particularly enjoy a reading, why not hit the like, or even better, add your comment. Explain what it is that you liked about it, or what you found frustrating, disappointing, maybe what was inspiring. Share your thoughts. Articulating your thoughts helps you make them clearer, and also gives you an opportunity to really engage with your classmates and start a discussion there. So again, that's something that I would definitely recommend you have a think about doing. What else? Basically, as you go through, you will see week by week what the readings are. Many of the readings will come with a little note. In fact, this particular one here, you'll see the note is quite long because the note is in fact the reading. You're challenged with this one, there's a case note, and you're challenged to read the case itself. And again, I would always encourage you to do that. Even if you're a business student and not a law student, actually, this is a great way for you to build your confidence with reading complex material and really making sure that you've got the comprehension. And I think it's really important because it's a really good way for you as a business person to start to understand what it is that the lawyers are grappling with, and helps you frame your questions for them in a much stronger way. I think that's pretty much everything that I want to tell you about the reading lists. I think it's a really, really useful tool for you, and I will be using them quite substantially in this subject, trying to make it, the reading, as manageable and as interesting for you as I can. And the way that the lectures will be presented is effectively on the assumption that you won't have read the materials at the time that I present the class, and that you may not even have read them by the time we do the workshops, but hopefully you will have listened to or watched the lectures by that stage. And then when you have that guided, facilitated understanding, you can dig deeper by getting into the readings, and you'll follow that up with the assessment tasks. And I'll talk more about the assessment tasks in a separate video. Thanks for your time and attention. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, frustrations, or compliments. I take them all. We'll talk soon. Cheers.